Picture the panic on those fake cops' faces when my wife, a naval security commander, flashed her credentials and demanded, "What exactly are you doing here?" Their smug grins vanished, faces paling as if they'd seen a spectre. The HOA thought they could evict us over a century-old oak tree in our yard. Big mistake. They were about to learn what happens when you target the wrong family. If you're watching from Texas, drop "Don't mess with military folks" in the comments. Here's the tale of how our nightmare HOA tried to bully our veteran, family, and the bitter reckoning they faced. I'm Ethan Blackwell, and with my wife Amanda, we'd been hunting for our forever home for nearly a year. After 15 years of military moves and base life, we craved roots. I served 12 years as a Marine before becoming a structural engineer, while Amanda, recently promoted to lieutenant colonel, commands security at a nearby naval base. When we found a stunning colonial with a sprawling backyard and a majestic 100-year-old oak, we knew it was the one, especially for our 10-year-old son Tyler, who'd bounced from base to base. That oak promised tree houses, tire swings, and the stable childhood we longed to give him. The neighborhood, Oak Ridge Estates, screamed upscale perfection. Manicured lawns, matching mailboxes, and an eerie order that should have tipped us off. Caught up in the thrill of our American dream, we skimmed the HOA agreement, signing without a deep dive, a rookie error that would haunt us. We'd faced insurgents and military red tape, but nothing prepared us for the suburban ambush awaiting us. 3 days after moving in, still wading through boxes, our doorbell chimed. There stood Victoria Hamilton, HOA president, with a plastic smile and a gift basket. Dressed in a crisp pantsuit, her silver blonde bob flawless, her warmth never reached her eyes. "Welcome to Oak Ridge Estates," she said, handing over coupons and a laminated HOA rulebook. "I'm here to ensure you grasp our community standards." Her gaze flicked to our porch, where moving boxes sat and Tyler's bike lay askew. Her smile tightened. Victoria's welcome felt like a drill sergeant's inspection. For 20 minutes, she lectured on approved fence colors, mailbox designs, and lawn rules. When she hit landscaping, her tone sharpened. "That oak in your yard," she said, peering at its sprawling canopy. "It's bold. Most residents prefer a tidier look. You might consider removing it to match our standards." My jaw clenched, instincts flaring, as if I'd been given a bad order in the Corps. "The oak stays," I said, voice steel. "It's why we bought this house." Her smile flickered, a glint of cold calculation breaking through. "We'll see," she said, cryptic and icy. "The HOA takes our appearance seriously. I'm sure you'll want to fit in." As she left, Amanda met my eyes, her face grim. A veteran of military intelligence, she read people like code. "We've got trouble," she said quietly. She's not just enforcing rules, she's marking her territory. A week later, a community barbecue confirmed her warning. Neighbors were warm, especially Daniel Foster, a law professor 2 doors down. "Don't let Victoria scare you," he whispered, shaking my hand. "She's run this place like her personal fiefdom since her husband died." As we mingled, I saw how folks bowed to Victoria, conversations hushing in her presence. She held court by the grill, shooting us calculating glances. At the event's end, she clinked her glass for attention. After routine announcements, she added, "Let's help our new neighbors, the Blackwells, understand our standards. Their yard needs serious work to meet expectations." Her smile masked a public shaming that silenced the crowd. My blood boiled, but Amanda's hand on my arm stopped me. A strategist, she knew this wasn't the moment to strike. That night, as we prepped for bed, Amanda pulled out a notebook. "What's that?" I asked. "Our war plan," she replied, eyes locked on the page. "Victoria's declared battle. We need to know the terrain." Her gaze, sharp from years of security protocols, met mine. "First rule, know your enemy. Know your battlefield. Tomorrow, we dissect that HOA agreement, find allies, and lock down our legal stance." She was right. This was the opening salvo in a brewing war, and we had to be ready. The first HOA notice hit 2 weeks after we settled in. A formal letter citing our grass exceeding regulation by 0.25 inches with a $50 fine. I stared, dumbstruck. I'd mowed 2 days earlier. Our lawn matched every neighbor's. This wasn't about grass. It was control. 3 days later, another notice. Garbage bins visible 4 minutes past pickup window. Another $50. Then, Tyler's basketball hoop, tucked by the garage, was deemed a visible violation. The citations piled up, each pettier, each with a fine. This is insane, I raged, waving a notice about our mailbox being 0.38 inches too tall. They're inventing violations. Amanda, buried in HOA rules and local laws at our kitchen table, looked up. Not quite, she said, marking a page. They're exploiting vague aesthetic uniformity clauses. But they're sloppy. Some citations violate city ordinances, which trump HOA rules. Daniel became a key ally, sharing legal insights and neighborhood history. Victoria took over after her husband died, he explained over coffee. Colonel Hamilton was strict but fair. Victoria's compensating for his shadow, running the HOA like a dictatorship. Ironic, given your military backgrounds. Lowered his voice. She's tight with Walter Brooks, a former cop on the board. He's her enforcer. Soon we noticed Walter's black SUV creeping past our house at odd hours, sometimes stopping to snap photos with a telephoto lens. When confronted, he mumbled about documenting violations, but never specified what. It felt like surveillance, unsettling Tyler, who started playing in the backyard to avoid the scary man in the black car. Nancy Sullivan, the HOA secretary, seemed uneasy about the escalation. A soft-spoken school administrator, she delivered a notice, but lingered. "I'm sorry," she whispered, glancing nervously. "It's never been this bad, not even with the Parkers last year." When I pressed about the Parkers, she bolted. That night, Amanda installed high-grade security cameras from her base. "We need evidence," she said, aiming one at the driveway. "Something's off, Ethan. This isn't just HOA nonsense. They're targeting us, and I want to know why." The monthly HOA meeting cemented our suspicions. Held in the clubhouse, it felt like a courtroom, with Victoria presiding over board members like a queen. When I raised the inconsistent violations, she cut me off, accusing us of unauthorized plantings. Amanda's marigolds. Daniel countered that annual flowers never needed approval, but Victoria declared a reinterpreted rule, slapping us with a $500 fine plus $50 daily until removed. The board voted 6-1 to uphold it, Daniel. Dissenting. As we left, neighbors avoided our eyes. We were being singled out, and everyone knew it. Later, security footage showed Walter's SUV parked across our street at 2 a.m. "He's there nightly," Amanda said, eyes narrowing. "This is surveillance, not monitoring. We need answers." Due to repeated and egregious violations, the board has initiated legal action, Victoria declared, nodding to Ryan Harrison, her slick HOA attorney. He handed out packets to the board. "These homeowners have flouted community standards, unauthorized landscaping, neglected upkeep, and gravely, refusal to remove a hazardous oak tree breaching height and safety rules." Harrison flashed manipulated photos of our pristine yard circled with violations, and a forged arborist report claiming our oak was a structural danger. The HOA demands its immediate removal, with $1,000 daily fines until compliance. When our turn came, I rose, voice steady. "I'd like to verify this arborist's credentials." Harrison smirked, presenting a certificate. "Martin Consulting." "Fully licensed?" I nodded, then projected a state business dissolution notice. "Odd, since Martin Consulting folded 18 months ago. This report is fraudulent, a crime in legal proceedings." The room hushed as Harrison's smugness wavered. Amanda stood, passing out our evidence. "The original community covenant protects heritage oaks as assets," she said, displaying Eleanor Turner's records. "This predates any height rules." For 20 minutes, we dismantled their claims with photos proving our yard's condition. County laws overriding HOA rules, and Victoria's ties to Councilman Matthews and Pinnacle Development. We revealed HOA funds funneled to consulting payments linked to the developer. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Victoria's composure cracked. "This is nonsense!" she snapped. "These military types are spinning conspiracies because they won't follow basic rules." Harrison, scrambling through our documents, offered no backup. The judge, expecting a routine ruling, frowned. "These are serious claims. I'm granting a 2-week continuance to verify documents, and I want answers about this arborist discrepancy." As the meeting broke into heated chatter, I overheard Walter hissing to Victoria near the exit. "This is spiraling. They've got too much. We need Plan B before they dig up the zoning applications." Victoria's reply chilled me. "Handle it tomorrow. I don't care how. Make them know they're not wanted." Their desperate glares our way signaled trouble. Daniel caught us outside, voice low. "You've shaken them, and that's risky. Victoria doesn't lose quietly. Stay sharp." Amanda nodded, her military instincts on high alert. "Cameras are rolling 24/7, and I've added motion sensors. They won't catch us off guard." But we didn't foresee how far they'd go, or how soon. 2 days later, I was at an engineering conference in Atlanta, reluctant to leave but urged by Amanda. "We can't pause our lives for their games," she said. "I can handle anything." As a security commander, she could. But Victoria's Plan B was beyond our expectations. Amanda later recounted the night. At 8:30 p.m., the doorbell rang. Tyler was asleep. She was reviewing base protocols. The camera showed 2 men in police uniforms, stern and official. But details nagged her. The badge's odd sheen, their unpolished stance. "Ma'am, I'm Officer Brendan Miller, with Officer Scott Daniels, County Sheriff's Department," the taller one said through the chained door, flashing a badge too, fast to read. "We're here for an inspection and eviction order due to HOA violations and safety concerns." The other held a county document. Amanda's instincts screamed fraud. The seal was blurry, the judge's signature wrong, jurisdiction misspelled. "May I see that closely?" she asked, stalling as she texted Officer Tiffany Wells, a sheriff's deputy. The men hesitated, but complied. "This seems odd for an HOA issue," she said. "What are your badge numbers?" They squirmed, exchanging glances. "We're just doing our job," Scott said, voice strained. "We need to inspect, especially, and that hazardous oak." Tyler's door creaked upstairs. "Mom, what's happening?" he called, scared. "All fine, honey," Amanda soothed. "Just a mix-up. Back to bed." She faced the men. "I need your badges again, and I'm calling your supervisor about this nighttime civil enforcement." The first man's hand twitched toward his holster, a clumsy intimidation. Amanda ended the game, flashing her Naval Security Commander ID. "I'm Lieutenant Colonel Amanda Blackwell, Norfolk Naval Station. I believe you're impersonating officers, a federal crime. My sheriff contact is en route. Explain yourselves." Their bravado collapsed. Scott stepped back, stammering. "We didn't know." Brendan cut him off. "We're here legitimately, hired by the HOA, Walter Brooks, for an inspection." Amanda pounced. "To scare my family with fake documents while my husband's away?" She raised her recording phone. "This is documented. You have 30 seconds to confess before I arrest you for impersonation." Scott cracked. "It was a scare tactic. Brooks said you'd cave if cops showed eviction papers. Just photos of the tree, that's it." Brendan, deflated, claimed they were private investigators. Sirens wailed. Officer Wells arrived with patrol cars. Body cam footage later showed the men's shock as they were cuffed, Scott admitting they were ex-security guards doing Walter's special jobs to intimidate, targeting Amanda as an easy mark while I was gone. That misstep was Victoria, and Walter's downfall. Amanda called me, then her commanding officer, escalating the issue to federal levels for impersonation and intimidation. By morning, our HOA spat was a criminal case, conspiracy, fraud, and more. Driving home, Amanda's words echoed. They've gone from harassment to felonies. Time to strike back. Our home became Operation HOA Freedom. The dining table vanished under documents, maps, and timelines. Amanda, still in uniform, coordinated with Tiffany and Daniel. Tyler stayed with friends for safety. Brendan and Scott flipped, Tiffany said. They confirmed Walter hired them to scare you with fake badges and papers. We searched his home, found document templates and notes on your schedules, and cameras. This is way past HOA nonsense. Multiple felonies. Amanda leveraged Naval connections, pulling in the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Intimidating a military officer with fake law enforcement could breach federal law, she said. They're probing Walter's surveillance for security risks tied to my role. Daniel added firepower, revealing years of documented HOA abuses, selective enforcement, financial irregularities. Most homeowners caved, he said. Your evidence changes everything. Nancy Sullivan, horrified, provided internal HOA records showing Victoria's unapproved security payments. To Walter, neighbors once silent shared harassment stories. Mark Reynolds, an investigative journalist, connected our case to Pinnacle Development's shady zoning deals. Your fight exposes their pattern, he said. Harass owners, force sales, exempt Pinnacle's shell companies from rules. Your evidence makes it stick. Victoria fought back, calling another emergency HOA meeting to push conclusive evidence against us, aiming to sway the community before the criminal probe went public. But we were ready. Amanda arranged for Officer Wells to address the impersonation, Mark to document for his exposé, and FBI agent Mitchell, probing Matthews's corruption, to attend. The night before the showdown, Amanda and I sat on our porch, gazing at the century-old oak anchoring our yard like a guardian. Its branches stretched wide, as they had long before we arrived. Regret this house? I asked, coffee in hand. Amanda paused, then shook her head. No, the military taught us that what's worth keeping comes with a fight. This home, this tree, Tyler's future, they're worth it. She squeezed my hand. Victoria picked the wrong foes. We've faced worse than a petty HOA dictator and her hired thug. A late call from Officer Wells shook us. Victoria filed a real court order today, using the fake arborist report to declare your oak hazardous, she warned. The judge, unaware of the fraud probe, signed it. It's legally binding until contested. Victoria's gambit was sly, legitimizing her criminal fake cop stunt as a misunderstanding. With Daniel, we crafted a plan. The HOA meeting wasn't just about clearing our name, but exposing her conspiracy before she could spin the narrative. The clubhouse brimmed with neighbors, rumors of the fake cops fueling a packed crowd. Victoria, poised at the board table, oozed confidence beside Ryan Harrison, her attorney, while Walter's seat sat empty. His illness, a coward's dodge post-police raid. FBI agent Mitchell blended into the crowd, unnoticed. Victoria opened with authority. We're here to address the Blackwell property's severe violations and authorize legal action, she said, smirking. Despite ample chances, they've defied standards, refusing to remove a dangerous oak endangering neighbors. Harrison flashed a court order. A judge has approved inspection and potential removal. Obstructing this will bring contempt. Charges. Victoria added, recent enforcement misunderstandings are regretted, but all actions were legal and for the community's good. We'll now vote to fund enforcement and legal fees. Our moment arrived. I stood, Amanda at my side. Before any vote, the community deserves the truth, I said. Victoria's misunderstandings were a criminal scheme, fake police with forged documents, orchestrated by Walter Brooks under her orders. Officer Wells stepped up in uniform. 2 men were arrested at the Blackwells for impersonating officers, she declared. They confessed Walter hired them to intimidate with fake eviction papers. He's under investigation for felonies. Victoria paled, but rallied. Preposterous. Walter's poor judgment in hiring security doesn't implicate the board. Our court order proves our concerns, Amanda countered, projecting the order beside the debunked arborist report. This order relies on a fraudulent document from a defunct firm. No legitimate arborist inspected our tree. She faced the crowd. This isn't about a tree. It's a conspiracy. We unveiled Victoria's ties to Pinnacle Development, her harassment of homeowners blocking their plans, and misused HOA funds. Mark Reynolds confirmed his exposé, citing financial records and victim testimonies. Nancy Sullivan, trembling, admitted falsifying records for Victoria. I was scared, she confessed, but I'm done. The room shifted. Gasps and angry murmurs replaced Victoria's usual sway. Neighbors shared their own harassment tales. Emboldened, Councilman Matthews, sneaking in late, stammered, My Pinnacle ties are disclosed. No impropriety. Agent Mitchell rose. Councilman, let's discuss this downtown. We have questions about your transactions. Matthews's face collapsed. Eleanor Turner, leaning on her walker, sealed Victoria's fate, presenting original covenants protecting heritage oaks. Victoria knew, she said. She ignored them for her deals. Victoria, cornered, tried to shut it down. I'm adjourning this, she snapped, grabbing papers. Daniel intervened. Bylaws allow emergency removal for malfeasance. I move for a no-confidence vote on President Hamilton. The motion passed. The vote was 38-3 to ouster. As Wells escorted Victoria out for questioning, applause erupted. Daniel became interim president, tasked with auditing HOA operations. Harrison slipped away, abandoning his client. The FBI grilled Matthews, and Mark gathered quotes for his story. Our oak was declared a protected heritage tree. Pinnacle's expansion stalled, and Victoria faced charges: conspiracy, fraud, fund misappropriation. Walter took a plea, testifying against her. A month later, we hosted a barbecue under our oak sprawling canopy. Neighbors, once divided by Victoria's reign, laughed and bonded. Tyler's Nature Club made the tree a kid hangout, transforming it into a symbol of triumph. We should thank Victoria, I told Amanda, watching the crowd. Her schemes united us. She laughed, arm around me. True, a common enemy builds bonds stronger than any oak. As dusk fell, fairy lights glowed. I raised a toast. To community, not uniform lawns or mailboxes, but standing united against wrong. Protecting what matters, where even an old oak holds its ground. Glasses clinked, and our tree stood sentinel, safe for another century.